Alright then folks, welcome back finally. Yes, I know I've taken my damn time getting another video sorted out for you guys, but your boy's been busy, man. He's been working his nuts off trying to save for a mortgage and waiting for car parts, so keep that in mind. I've been waiting a long time for car parts, but we come armed with some liquid motivation and we are ready to jump back into this thing, which is the WRC Escort Cosworth replica build. So for those of you that are new, this is my tube chassis WRC build, and we've already gone ahead and done a lot of tube work and fitted an E36 rear end in this thing, so needless to say it's going to be rear wheel drive. Now if you watched the last video, you may or may not remember I was asking about support. So in the little bit of time that I've had spare between working and sleeping, I've actually managed to do this support here, that support there. We've added the strip across there, dimple dyed obviously, because why not? And same again here, which is just finished off that area a treat, I think. And I've also gone ahead and cut out that tube that I'd welded in too low. Turns out I'd welded it in too low by about 4 inches. So that is now gone. We've replaced that, and this time only tacked it in place, so they can be cut if needs be, and I can lift that up or lower it down to suit wherever my front strut top tube needs to go. So all in all, we've got a bit of stuff done, but nothing really worth filming. So with these tubes here, that has now brought my attention to the back of this front subframe mounting point, and it's making me think I need to run in another tube from here up to the rear strut top, just to triangulate all of this area fully and properly support everything in there. I don't think that's a bad idea, so I might, in fact I will just go ahead and do that at some point. So yeah, I'll tackle that at some point, I don't know when. Now after the last video, although I said I was going to jump straight back into this thing and start tubing out the front, I had a bit of a niggling doubt in the back of my mind, and a couple of people even commented saying the same thing as what I was thinking, which was, why not change the front wings to proper Cosworth ones? Because as it stands, these are replica front wings that retain the front wheel drive wheelbase basically, because this bit here is ever so slightly shorter on a front wheel drive than it is on an actual Cosworth. So I already had your thoughts in mind, and that brings us to what I've been waiting for, which are a proper pair of WRC Cosworth front wings. Now these, as you can see, I've got a nice little hump in there like the proper WRC Cosworth has, unlike the standard road going one, which is basically flat across here. So these will fit in a lot better with the overall look that we're going for with this car come the end. And these are carbon Kevlar, so nice and light, nice and strong, and believe it or not, the pair of those combined still don't weigh as much as this single wing that is made out of fiberglass. So we're already making a weight saving there. And talking of weight savings, that brings us to our next purchase, which is a carbon fibre boot lid. Now this thing, honestly, is nuts just how light this is. I mean, I'm holding up an entire boot lid with one finger. You'd never be able to do that with an actual proper steel one. I mean, the weight savings there are incredible. That boot lid, that entire boot lid, doesn't weigh as much as the rear wiper motor that comes out of a standard one. So yeah, a huge weight saving there. So that is our new parts that have finally arrived. Now what we need to do, I'll talk you through the differences on these in a little bit, just so anyone that's building one of these will know not to buy Cosworth wings. If you're building a replica, don't buy Cosworth wings, because it makes your wheels all sit funny in the arches. But what we need to do is refit my bonnet, well, that I've brought back down, because we've fitted these to suit the doors and the bonnet. So if we get the bonnet back in, we can then take these back off and line these new ones up to the bonnet, and then we should be sweet. So let's put you on a tripod, start taking some bits off the car, and hopefully get these nice spanky new front quarters or front wings fitted to the car. There she is, folks. She's all naked again, and my god, it looks worse now the front wings are off. Now you can see just how much space there is I need to fill with tube work. That is actually quite daunting, I'm not going to lie. Right, let's not keep looking at that because it's putting me off. Right, so let's talk about these front wings, because if you're building a replica, you need to get the right front wings, otherwise your wheels are going to look like they're too far back. So let's measure these out and I'll show you the differences. And then I'll also bring you up to speed with John's rallycross car, because that thing's a bit dead at the moment. So, right, front wings. This is the Cosworth wing. The grey one is the standard Escort size wing, albeit a Cosworth replica one. So the differences are here and here. So this area is between the headlight and the wheel arch, and this area is between the wheel arch and the door. So the measurement on the Cosy one is 6¼ inches. The measurement on the Escort, like front wheel drive Escort one, is about 5 inches. So you've already gained 1¼ inch on the Cosworth one. So that is why when you fit a Cosworth size wing to a front wheel drive Escort, it makes the wheels look like they sit back further. That is because this is moved further forward. So that is that. And then with that space being longer, this space then decreases. So this is between the headlight and the wheel arch, so that measures in at about 5 inches. And then on the front wheel drive one, that measures in at about 7¼ inches. So needless to say, that bit is longer than that bit, and that bit is shorter than that bit. So that is why you need to get the right size wings if you're building an Escort Cosworth replica, because if you don't, you're going to end up with your front wheels looking like they've been shunted back, and it just makes it look terrible. So that is the differences on the front wings. There is no other difference. Everything else is fine. Where it mounts on the car is fine, all of that. The headlights still fit in here fine. It is just literally that space between the door and the wheel arch and the headlight and the wheel arch. That is it. So that is a bit of an educational one on those. Now let's talk about John's paperweight. As you can see, this thing was looking pretty darn good. It was all finished, all running. Everything was sweet, and then we took it to the first round of the Retro Rallycross, which was in Lidenhill, and unfortunately I missed it, but it all went a bit south. Unfortunately, my mate John decided to misshift it and probably spun the engine up to about 12,000 RPM, which the rods don't like doing, and decided to throw one out. So that is the dry sump, which, as you can see, has blown out where the rod hit. So that is pretty much bin fodder now. Completely trashed that. And then this is the block. So spot the problem. Peekaboo. And then we've got another little viewing window there. So that is also bin fodder. And what we have over here is the remains of piston number 2 and rod number 2. So yeah, it didn't like being spun up at about 12,000 RPM. Now thankfully it didn't really do a great deal of damage to the cylinder head. It's marked it ever so slightly there, so that can be resurfaced, that's fine. And it is ever so slightly bent 2 valves, so got away very, very luckily with the head. But everything else needs to be replaced. So hopefully we're on the case and we're going to get that rebuilt for Pembury, which is in July. So if you're around Wales way, or you like a bit of rallycross, come down and watch the Retro Rallycross at Pembury in Wales. And if we're there, come and say hello, because hopefully we will get that thing rebuilt, and it might actually get out and do some racing. We shall see. But anyway, let's get back to the task in hand and get these front wings mounted on that car. Well, just realised I've still got to drill out all of these again now, and I've still got to cut out for all this wing vent again. Oh, it seemed like a bright idea at the time. Right, let's get these drilled. Well, you can't deny it, boys and girls. That didn't half look good. I am made up that I held out for these front wings. They just look so much more aggressive. Look at that. They look so much better than standard Cosy wings. Obviously I've thrown the front bumper on and thrown a wheel in just to get a sort of visual of how it's all going to look. I do need to resort back to the old red bumper though, so I don't know if you remember from a couple of videos ago. I had to fit this bumper instead of keeping the red one because this suited the front wheel drive Cosy wings better. But now this one doesn't fit the actual Cosy wings properly, so I need to go back to the red one and get that fitted up at some point, but we'll do that later down the line. And I've also gone ahead and cut in that wing vent on there, just sort of finish off the look of it, which has come out pretty good. But oh man, honestly, I keep walking around this thing and just gawking at it. This looks so good. And I've also been home and picked up my boot spoiler, WRC spoiler, just to see how that fits on the boot lid, and that fits perfectly. So over the moon with that. Obviously still need to bodywork all of this bit in where we've got the rear quarter panel on there, but that is later down the line. We are a ways off that yet. Now, as much as I'm happy with that, it does come with a but. And as I explained earlier, this bit is bigger on a proper Cosy wing than it is on a front wheel drive Cosy replica wing. So, as a result of that, we now have side skirts that come up short. So I think what I'm going to do is cut this side skirt right down here. We'll fix this side to the car, fix this side to the car, and then we'll just have to bridge the gap there with some fiberglass. So I've been and got myself a little fiberglass kit and a little bit of extra fiberglass just to be on the safe side. So we'll knock some of that up, we'll cut these apart and hopefully fill in the gaps and make these side skirts fit. I don't really, if I can help it, want to buy other side skirts. So let's get the grinder out, we'll cut that up and see if we can get away with not destroying these side skirts. Alright then folks, this is what I've come up with. I know nothing about fiberglassing, so apologies if I'm doing it wrong. I'm just doing what I can just to try and make these things stick together at this point. So as you would have seen, I've stuck in two little strips of aluminium on each side, one top, one bottom, and then I've just gone round and laid in a load of fiberglass on the back edge, just so I've got something to actually lay up my fiberglass to. So my plan of attack is cut a strip that will go in here, get all that resined in, and then I'll lay up a couple of strips over the top to bond into that, and hopefully that will strengthen these together enough to then be able to take them off, flip them over and pack in a load of fiberglass from the back. Hopefully that will work. I, in my head, can't see why that wouldn't. But there is a couple of other issues with these side skirts now. And obviously these were designed to go on the old front wings, so that isn't quite up to par there. Whether or not I can heat that up and manipulate that in, I don't know, or if I'm going to have to fiberglass that, we shall find out later on when I get to bodyworks sort of side of things. And again, on an actual Cosworth, these are split here, so this front section is separate to the back section, and there's a line somewhere around this area. So whether or not I'm going to try and imitate that later down the line, I don't know. But we'll see how this goes. If this doesn't work out, then I'll have to bite the bullet, throw these in the bin, and just order some Cosy ones. So let's get over there. We'll get all of our resin and whatnot sorted out and see if we can make this happen. Well, it's on there, folks, but I don't know about you guys. I absolutely hate fiberglass for passion. It is such a horrible, horrible job. But like I say, it's stuck together, I think. So that's something at least. This lower bit kept flopping off, so I'll have to do something with that tomorrow. I could not get that to stick up. But hopefully with the layers I've got going that way and the layers I've got going that way, that will be enough to secure this piece to this piece until we can take it off and then glass up all inside the back of it. So that is the hope, fingers crossed. This side went pretty much as well as the other side. As soon as I started patting the top layer to the bottom layer, all my masking tape started moving, so I've got a nice little divot there that I've got to try and sort out tomorrow. But all in all, like I say, it looks like it's kind of stuck together, so hopefully it'll hold up enough until I can take it off and actually start getting into the back of it and strengthen it up a little bit. But I'm going to let that go off tonight. Hopefully that'll fully cure. Hopefully I've made the right mixture. Again, don't know. See what happens on that one. And then tomorrow we'll take them off, see if they've held up, and then we can start on actually getting the jig in this bloody thing here now. So now I've got my arches on, Got a rough centre line there. I will confirm that. I'll do some measurements and I'll get the laser line up there as well. And then we can make some plans on getting this jig attached to the table and hopefully start making some tube work very, very soon. So let's let that cure and I'll pick you guys back up tomorrow. And a bit of YouTube magic later, people. We are back and we are here for the moment of truth. This has had a whole night and a day to go off and it is nice and solid. So hopefully this bit is now attached enough to this bit so we can take all of this off in one piece. That is the hope. But as I went away, I've also been and collected the other front bumper I'd stashed away at home. Unfortunately, this has had quite a bit cut out of it for whatever reason on both sides, so I'm going to have to try and fix that at some point, but that isn't a problem for the here and now. I just want to make sure that fits and lines up with these wings, so we'll get onto that shortly. But moment of truth, let's take these side skirts off and hope that little end piece stays attached to this big long piece. We have a winner, people. It is stuck together just as I'd hoped, so we can now flip it over like this one, and what we need to do is take out all that masking tape inside there and then glass the living daylights out the inside of that to hopefully completely make that bit at one with that bit, and then we can go around bodywork all the outside afterwards. So I need to go over there, I need to make up some resin, cut up some fiberglass, and then we'll stick these together properly. They're starting to look like side skirts again, people. We are getting somewhere, and I'll say it again, I don't like fiberglass. This is not fun. This is just horrible. But I have obviously gone ahead, packed out all the inside, secured all of that in place, and then I've used some fiberglass filler to bring the level up where this strip was, to then sand it all back down. So very, very crudely just slap that on. So I've got my work cut out for me smoothing all of that off, but that is that. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've put this on a little while ago and it is still quite tacky to the touch. So I'm really hoping I've put enough hardener with that and it will actually cure, because otherwise we're in for a bit of a nightmare with that. So we'll leave that for a minute, hopefully that'll set. In the meantime, we'll jump onto the front bumper, which as you can see, I've very crudely taped into place. That is pretty much where it needs to be. And what I need to do now is actually drill a hole here and a hole here so we can make these things fit again, which are what we just pulled off of that front bumper. So we'll drill those out, install the rods, like the pins, get them fitted on there, and then that will secure the front bumper to the car. And then after that, we then need to go back to the old bumper, remove these little pop clip things, and then attach them to the car roughly here, and secure these corners to the front wing. So I think, whilst them side skirts are going off, that is going to be the plan of attack. So let's get some tools out, get these things fitted on the car. She's starting to resemble a car again, folks. Look at that. I am so chuffed with those front wings, man. They look so much better than the stock ones. But obviously, I haven't fitted the side bits on here. I've decided to leave those out until later on when we do final fit and finish, so we can make sure everything's square and plumb and where it needs to be. I've obviously gone ahead and fitted the headlight blanks and the grille. Done that off camera. You've already seen that before, so there's no point in me showing that again. But that has obviously now brought up the issue I thought I might have, which is where someone's cut all of this out previously to accommodate the headlights, because this was fitted with front wheel drive Cosy wings, which, as I showed you earlier, come back to here. So all of this had to come back in order to get that to marry up with it. So as a result of that, they've cut reliefs in here. Now I need to go back in and fill them in somehow. I'm not quite sure how just yet, but we'll figure that out. And then same again on this side. This side isn't so bad though, so yeah, luckily for me, I get to work with fiberglass again, yay! And talking of fiberglass, earlier in the video I was a bit worried about whether or not my fiberglass on the side skirts was going to go off, and well, that is your answer right there. No, it didn't. This numpty hadn't put enough hardener in it, so it didn't go off even after 2 days. So not ideal, but the second batch went off lovely. So that is now the side skirts fitted back to the car. I've started smoothing them out a little bit. I'm not going too crazy because we're not anywhere near fit and finish yet, so I'll probably leave them as they are now. And same again on the other side, it's pretty much the same. So overall though, she's starting to look good, man. Happy days. But I'm going to call that a wrap for this video. It's taken me long enough to get another video out, so that will do us for this one. In the next one, I'm going to try and get that jig fitted into the car, and then we're going to start tubing out the front, and with any luck, get this damn thing off the table and rolling again. So like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace.